Um, let's go to a positive, kind of just fun, quick topic, man. The debut of the jerseys came out with a video yesterday, and man, I think they look fantastic, Chris. I really do. We knew they were going to be very similar. There's been mock-ups. There are kind of, I guess you would call replica jerseys, in stores. We already kind of knew what they were going to look like. And Donati told us and others, like, hey, it's not going to be this massive rebrand or remix in terms of what we're doing with the jerseys this year for now. But I was told, Chris, when I was asking about the garnet color to someone, like this would have been, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that, hey, people, we being South Carolina, we truly believe people are going to love these jerseys because they're very similar, but they just pop a little bit different, pop a little bit more. That was kind of my reaction, dude. Like, I feel like they look great. Jerseys always look completely different once you see them on a human, with the pads, with the helmet. To me, I've never looked at a jersey hanging on a rack, on a hanger. It doesn't do much for you. Seeing it on an actual athlete and what it's going to look like on game day, you get an actual vibe for what that looks like. I can't. I have no notes. Like I think they're pretty freaking strong for a first Nike jersey for South Carolina.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, based on everything we had been told and reported, that South Carolina wasn't going to come out year one with Nike with, a bunch of crazy uniforms and an alternate. Although, Wes, it is, keep in mind for the future, it's built into South Carolina's Nike contract for Nike to rebuild that closet, and there's an option for an alternate uniform in there. So curious as to what maybe they decide to do down the road with that. But I was curious to get the first look of, like, here's what it looks like on a player in photos, in videos. I agree. I think they look great. I was curious of what fans would think because we've all been following it. With the Nike release, there's been a lot of opinions on the colors, or not even just the color, like the name of the color and all these different things. So I was curious, hey, what are fans going to think? Or even if I like them, what does the fan base think? Wes, from what I've seen, man, on Gamecock Central and on social, it seems like people, and I'm sure this is not every person because you're not going to find 100% agreement on anything in life. It seems like the fan base is really digging these new uniforms.
Yeah, I agree. Little tease at the end, right? Little tease at the end on the black helmet. What might the black uniforms look like? And definitely appears to be a glossy black helmet on the way, which I think is a cool way to just introduce something a little bit new, a little bit different, spice it up without it being anything too over the top, too crazy. And I will say this, dude. Now, granted, again, because you didn't just go completely off the rails and say we're gonna just start over, right? If you had started over, even if they were pretty good, I think you would have gotten mixed reactions. Like, let's be honest, anytime you do something creative, artsy, any type of design or brand, people are going to have opinions, man. So by sort of staying, you colored within the lines with this one, right? By doing that, you were not going to get as strong of a reaction, I think. But I'll say this, dude. Look at the reaction from the Georgia Tech fans and from the national folks about the Georgia Tech uniforms. When you go to a new brand, it's not always smooth. There's always this conversation about the color. Did they get this right? And I get it. Yeah, some of the, the shirts in the stores, yeah, it is a different shade. I'm not telling you it's not. But I think I really have not seen hardly anybody watch that video and say, I hate it. There's been a little different opinions on, Austin making the point. They took out the circle, the white circle on the garnet helmets. There's actually been a lot of people that have said, hey, I'm glad they got rid of that. been some people like, hey, I kind of like that. That was a little bit of a staple. Other than that, it's been pretty positive. Chris, I like that the logo on the helmet appears to be much bigger.
It does. It does. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about that, getting rid of kind of the circle, the logo on the helmet. I think the helmets look great. The helmets really pop to me. So I thought that was a good, tweak, I guess is probably the best word for it. And at what point, Wes, do they, I assume if they tease it, we probably get to see the glossy black helmet this season. Seems like they wouldn't tease it if it's like a, hey, wait a couple years type of thing. But at what point do we see that thing? Interesting.
Yeah, I will say this. I have a pretty good feeling we will see a video involving the black uniforms fairly soon. That would just be my guess before the season. It would be on brand. It would be on track. You put this out. You do the little Marvel, almost felt like a post movie credit scene, just to tease everybody a little bit. Then you put the video out later on at some point when we need something else to get us ready. But hey, Chris, I'll say this. Those on the video version, you can see it right now. Did this not feel a little bit like an old school Justin King video? Had those vibes, right?
Yeah, the transitions, the old battle armor videos that we used to see. Definitely a little bit of an old school flair. Awesome video. Got people ready for the season too.
Yeah, it did.